I just want to wrap up before we take questions, give you a few more facts. You know, it costs money to litigate a lawsuit, and it's estimated that it's going to cost somewhere between $250,000 to $500,000 to carry a case such as this all the way to the United States Supreme Court. Imagine what we could do with that money. That's maybe 10 teachers or 10 policemen for a year. That's hundreds of school breakfasts that could go to children who need to get a good start to their school day by eating a good, hearty and healthy breakfast. That's money that could go towards healthcare or transportation or even snow removal or even fixing pothole situations that we all know too well this winter. In short, there's plenty of other good uses for that money rather than going on a, quite frankly, a frivolous jump through legal precedents and try to overturn something that's well settled. And with that, I will turn it over to your questions, and you can direct it to any one of us. We've just made it all crystal clear. Yes, ma'am.
As I understand the Attorney General's arguments on this, he's resting a lot of his petition on the UN's climate change report and problems he says that are contained in that report. He called it political science, he called it fraudulent, and a variety of other things. I was hoping one of you might address specifically that report and whether what you'd say to Virginians who have concerns about climate change because of the problems they've seen in it.
Well, I'm going to ask if it's all right to have Dr. Wielicki come up and address some of that. But let me start off by saying that the problems that he's relying on don't actually affect the science. In other words, in legal parlance, he's chasing a red herring. But
yeah, I've been a climate scientist for 30 years with NASA, and I'm only here as a personal citizen to give you my personal opinion, not a NASA opinion. But frankly, all the major science organizations in the world, for example, the American Association for the Advancement of Science, that publishes Science magazine, it's the largest organization of scientists of all fields, they have all come out with statements that say the East Anglia emails don't change anything on the accuracy and understanding of climate, nor do these few errors that have been found in the IPCC report. That all of their recommendations that this is a serious issue and we have to keep on it are still in place. This is true of the American Meteorological Society, international science organizations, every major science organization. So what you are looking at is a few climate skeptics and bloggers that are confusing the public and the media. And frankly, it's really got to stop. We've got to see beyond this, and you've got to get better about quality controlling information because the science community as a whole has not changed their position one iota.
thank you, Dr. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What is your plan to help Senator Cuccinelli stop the litigation?
Our plan to stop the litigation from Attorney General Cuccinelli?
Yes.
Regrettably, we don't have the ability to do that other than to speak out as legislators and leaders of our particular areas and to make sure that the public understands what's going on and hopefully they will add their voice to this. But right now, we don't have the legislative power to stop it right now.
I got a question. Rex Frankston, Times Dispatch. Are there any Republicans in the group here? And if so, why not?
You'd have to ask them.
They're not.
No. Yes, sir.
So how can citizens most effectively express their outrage?
I think they can do it in any number of ways. First of all, you can write General Cuccinelli. You can write us. We'll be happy to pass those messages on. But, you know, I often say that politics is a contact sport. And what that means is that you need to stay in contact with us. And indeed in contact with our state leaders as well, of which Attorney General Cuccinelli is one. So let them know how you feel.
I would add to that, the Attorney General's office phone number is in the phone book and it's also on his webpage. If you just Google Virginia Attorney General, you get the phone number and you can call if you don't have the time to write.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the time frame for the deployment of the lawsuit? What sort of, and how will this unfold, and how long will it take?
I don't know how long it'll take. I would imagine it'll take a year or more, but that's just a guess on my part. It starts with the filing of a complaint to which the government will have, the United States government, the federal government will have 30 days to apply to that, and from there it goes on, depending on the judge and the time constraints that the judge places on the two parties.
Is it in the Eastern District?
Yeah, I would imagine it's in the Eastern District of Virginia. Yes, ma'am.
Are any other states protesting this or fighting it?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if any of my colleagues know.
Texas is participating in the lawsuit. They're not fighting. They're an amicus with Cuccinelli.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any legislation to have commission or to have some form of way to study the impact in Virginia specifically on the coastal areas?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Senator Petersen.
There was a climate change commission which issued a report, and that was a bipartisan report. And in the sort of the aftermath of that, a Energy and Environment Commission was formed with Mary Margaret Whipple, Senator Whipple as the chair. I actually have also served on that, I'm the vice chairman of that commission. And our charge was essentially to look on this as a continuing public policy issue. How can we limit carbon emissions? How can we be a better conservator of our natural resources? And we've been bringing forward legislation in the fields of energy, alternative energy, green jobs, all of these things to try and put this into place. And again, I stress that the Climate Change Commission was a bipartisan commission. You can look at it, and so is our commission. We don't necessarily all agree on it. But one thing that we do agree on is that carbon dioxins are harmful. And I thought that was agreed science. So that was sort of the baseline that we started from, and this is obviously a departure from that.
Yes, sir.
Climate change legislation has stalled at the federal level after narrowly passing the House. There hasn't been much action in the Senate. I know you all are state representatives, but what do you expect the National Democratic Party to do to move forward in a positive way on climate change?
I don't know that any of us have the ability to have a clear crystal ball on that. I think if you asked all of us, we might have varying opinions on that. Just speaking strictly for myself, I'm hopeful that the Congress will move forward, but it remains to be seen.
And I'd like to add to that we certainly know that the way not to solve the problem is to litigate with the federal government, where it's Ken Cuccinelli versus 2,000 of the world's leading scientists. I mean, he's taking a knife to an intellectual gunfight, and he's wasting taxpayer dollars in the process.
Well said. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, we appreciate you all coming out. Thank you.